So I mentioned about privilege and that is a mindset, and I'm telling you this because according to a lot of people, I'm not privileged because English is not my first language, but I don't see it that way because regardless to the fact that it's not my first language, I'm still a really privileged person because I choose to feel this way. What I mean by that is regardless to what happened in my life, like grew up without father, a lot of things that happen lead me to this moment. For example, I would never come to Australia if I had a father, for instance. And I think this privileged mindset that I want to teach you is that if you believe that you're privileged, that you have enough, that everything works out in your favor, rather than say, oh, society is so racist, I need to educate them and everything because they need to know who I am. And I think entitlement and victimhood is also taught, same as privilege. Because the thing is, when I begin to believe myself as a privileged person, I live this happy, carefree life, and it's good because I don't have to think about what someone else better than me, because I don't necessarily think that, because everyone has different story to tell, and I think that's beautiful about human connection is to be able to listen to someone else's story. And I am not a good storyteller too. Let me tell you that I'm not a good storyteller at all. I'm just really bad at things. But I'm very privileged to be alive because I think, being too afraid of suicidal thoughts, I really recognize how fortunate I am to, have this incredible journey to a place where I don't do it anymore. And I think a lot of people don't realize is that they're privileged too, but they choose to see the empty glass kind of person because they always the empty glass kind of person. They don't see the full glass kind of person. And it's tragic in Western society because everyone is taught to be a victim. Everyone is taught to hate, to blame, to guilt, to shame. And a lot of things is ideology that taught to education system, which been to university a few times. I have to say I don't want to go to university again unless I want something badly from it. And I never finished my studies. But I think in terms of privilege mindset, it's that you have to look at yourself and say, whoa, look at this, I have a house to live in, I have food on the table, I have unlimited water, I can go to movie anytime I want, I can sing, I can dance, I can go for a run, I have a gym membership. Another thing that you really look into yourself and see that you begin to see it, look at these checkers. See, this is my point. I have these checkers because I play with my mom, and that's another privilege that you need to recognize that you have checkers, someone else might not have it. And I think it's incredible easy thing to do to say that you are so privileged. You don't need to tell people that, although I make a video, the irony, but you don't need to telling people go to shopping and say, hey, I'm privileged. You just feel privileged. You know what I mean? You just feel that within your bones and feel like, oh, I am really lucky person to be here. Not many people get to be here, and I think that's important to build a positive mindset rather than a negative one. Because if you think you're perfect and that everything that happened to you is everyone else's fault, then you live in the mentality of everyone needs to bend down to your knees for you just so you can talk about equality. And I think a lot of it comes down to equality speeches, really, because people tend to be talking about equality. And as human, we not be able to equal in wealth, houses, be equal as society. Yeah, there are people who are wealthy, but they don't have enough, and they never have enough because they keep wanting more. But my point being is that don't compare yourself with someone else. And this isn't coming from me, this is also coming from my mom. She always said, don't compare yourself with someone else, and it's important to not compare yourself with anyone else, to see the goodness in you, and to be humble and happy, and just not necessarily be positive all the time, but be emotional, but need to switch from negative emotion to positive emotion, to switch from different emotions, because ultimately we can't be positive all the time, but at the same time, if you believe that you're privileged to be here, then you are privileged to be here.